Yo, and welcome to the first Renegade X tutorial. I say the first, these tutorials are all about Renegade X. They've got nothing to do with mapping or making mods or anything. These are directly for people who want to make maps. They're going to consist of just how to set up all the Ren-x assets in a map. I'm not going to show you how to do materials or anything like that. So primarily these are for people who know what they're doing in UDK. So let's get to it. This first tutorial is all about world properties. So world properties, this is where you can set up what sort of map you have and whatnot. So we're going to go to world properties and world info, and in my map info we're going to click this little blue icon and add RX map info. Right, that's one. We also want to go to game type and set all these to RX game, and the most important one, game type supported. Press the little green cross, and we want to go to RX game there too. Now in my map info, this contains pretty much everything about the map, from aircraft being enabled or disabled, deathmatch. Primarily we don't need to do deathmatch. Deathmatch was more of a weapon testing thing, but we left it in case people wanted a deathmatch experience. But basically what deathmatch does is it disables buildings and harvesters. It randomizes character spawns, so you spawn as either a GDI or not, depending on what team you are. It's technically team deathmatch. So you randomise between all the characters in said faction. So yeah, and disabling aircraft means you disable the aircraft. You can't have aircraft on the map unless you add vehicle factories, which I'll be going through in episode something or other. Episode 7 or 8, I don't know yet. Other than that, you've got minimap texture size. I'll be going over mini-maps as well, so I'll leave that for now, but you could probably figure that out. Ren-x globals. Primarily we leave these alone, but if you need to change the stealth, for instance, stealth is the main one you want to change. So if you want to boost, if it's a really light map, you need to boost the effect or the translucency, or down the translucency a little bit. You can in this property here. Same with night vision. If you've got a really light map or a really dark map, you can fiddle with the night vision. And whatnot. It's just stuff you play with till you get it right. RX characters. Basically, RX characters and RX vehicles are pretty much the same thing. They just they affect characters or vehicles. So we have brightness on GDI and nod, so we can control the saturations and brightnesses between each character faction character, depending on what style map you're going for. If you got a dark map, you might want to lighten up nod because they're a very dark character. If you got a really bright map, you might want to darken GDI because they're a light character. Reflections. You can change the colour of the reflection depending on what map you have. If you have like a red map, you want to put it to a red. It's up to you. We also have cube maps. If you make a cube map of your level, of your map, you can add it here and it will add it to the reflections of the characters and vehicles. As I said, these are pretty much the same thing, just apply to vehicles or characters. Map info. Well, we don't really play with this, there's no point. This is just recommended player types, player scales, how many players are recommended for the map. Music info. don't bother with that. We have a built-in jukebox. Mini maps. Again, I'll be going over this in a later episode, later tutorial. Maps. Again, don't really need to worry about that. You probably know most of this from UDK anyway. And that's primary. Oh, visibility modifier. Probably know that from UDK anyway. Everything else, you don't really need to know about. It's all good. So yeah, that's primarily it for world setup. There's nothing else you really need to know about world properties. Yeah, so catch you in the next one. Ta-da.